Hi there, welcome to this course on data analysis and visualization with AWS Glue, Athena, and Quicksight. My name is Harshit and I'm an instructor for this class. In this class, you will be learning various cloud services on AWS that are used for data science and analysis. It could be also used for business intelligence, data preparation, and data visualization. All these are components for data science. At first, you will learn to create a crawler on AWS Glue that can span through any file or dataset that are kept either in the AWS S3 bucket, simple storage service, or either it could be kept at DynamoDB or other data sources. Then you will learn how to run SQL queries on this dataset using Athena. Athena is a popular service on AWS. You would also learn to customize the schema and data fields in the database. After this, you will learn about data preparation and data visualization using AWS Quicksight. Amazon Quicksight is a popular business intelligence and data visualization tool that can be used to apply various data cleaning operations. You will learn to create advanced visualization charts and BI reports for finding insights from the dataset. So if you're curious to learn these data science and data analysis skills on Amazon Web Services, start learning right now. See you in the class. Hi there, welcome to this lesson where you're going to learn about creating an Amazon S3 bucket where you can store your files on the cloud. So let's start with this. Here just go to the services and browse over storage service, and here the first service is Amazon S3. So S3 is short form of simple storage service. That's a block storage, and here you can create a bucket. So what is a bucket? Bucket is a logical folder or directory where you keep all your content. So bucket is the abstract form of it's an abstract logical entity. So you can create multiple buckets on Amazon S3. Just provide with a name. You have to select an Amazon region where this bucket will be stored. Your data will be stored. So you can choose from various Amazon cloud regions like Virginia and other places. And next, you may choose to block all kind of public access to this bucket directory, or you can retain some access. So if you want your bucket to be available on the public domains, it can be made available. Otherwise, you want to block, you can block it. And you can only access internally with your own cloud account. And then you can select the encryption or advanced setting. You can choose to have an object lock, and once you're done, just hit the create bucket and it will be available to you. And here we can find there are multiple buckets that's already created. And here we have created this Athena data 101, and this is the bucket for here. And once you open the bucket, you got various properties, the file permissions to access this thing. You got various matrices. You can select this thing, and you can anytime edit some settings like public access. You can customize it later on. If you customize, you have to confirm. Otherwise, just leave it here. Maybe after you have created your bucket, you want it to be available by public domain. You can just set it there. You can have the cross origin resource sharing enabled. You can find a metrics here for performance indicators and other things. You can select the access points, and here just go to the objects if you want to create other folders or subfolders and upload different files here. So if you want to store some files on the Amazon cloud, S3 is the way to go. Even when you want to create an integrated application that requires some sort of data, it could be linked with S3. Say if you want to host a website and you have a database, you can upload your data set on S3 bucket. You can add multiple files as well that would contain the images, dataset, text, other informations, PDFs, and other things. And then you can use this Amazon resource name or S3 ARN, and it could be connected to other services on the cloud. Like Glue, you can create a crawler With Amazon Glue and Athena, you can connect it to Redshift or DynamoDB databases and other places as well, other services. It could be used with a Lambda as a trigger and other things. Here we have uploaded this file, that's CSV format, and we got this destination link, that is S3, and here we got this directory for this thing. And here you got multiple kind of storage classes that you can choose. If you want to have access your data very frequently, you can choose the standard, or if you want your data for archival purpose, you can have the glacier. And for the moderate levels, you can have these things. Say for example, if you want your website data to be available multiple times in a single day from across the globe, it is very frequently accessed, then you can put it with the standard function. And if you want it just for the record keeping, you can keep it for the glacier. So if your data is kept in the glacier, read write permission to that bucket will be very minimal, and you cannot edit it for certain parameters, and it would be safe. It would be considered as a vault, and you can create multiple S3 buckets. So it is one of the core services on AWS, and it is very widely used with other cloud services. So once you are on the AWS dashboard, you can customize your bucket and go to actions and find various options. So try to create your own S3 bucket, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friends. Here in this lesson, you're going to learn about creating a crawler in Amazon Glue. So let's start with this. So what is a crawler? Crawler is a kind of job that is defined in Amazon Glue. It crawls through the databases and buckets that are stored in Amazon S3 or other storage forms, and it will create a table in Amazon Glue. It have the same schema as the file that is stored, and after it has created a table in Glue, you can perform various operations such as ETL operations, extract, transform, load using SQL queries on this table. So just go to the Amazon Glue service, you can search the AWS dashboard and you would find it here, and just go to the crawler to create a new crawler. On the left hand side, you will find various stepwise options that we have to perform in order to create a crawler. So first we need to provide the name for this new crawler. So this crawler could be connected to various kind of data sources in order to produce a table. So it will be very handy thing. Say if you have your data stored in form of some CSV files, you could have thousands of CSV files or Excel files, and just they are kept in the S3 bucket, and you want to create a database based on those data. You could just create a crawler, or you can create multiple crawlers. It works as a web crawler, but it's not a web crawler. It just crawls over the data source that you provide on the cloud. So you can have source type, it could have a data source, or it could be used based on existing data catalog table. You can connect multiple data sources like S3, not just S3, you could connect DynamoDB as well. You could connect JDBC, you could have a MongoDB and other options. Then you can define the connection type, like you could have a connection for Amazon VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, and you could have this thing. So when you scroll over there, you would find a VPC. Currently we don't need any VPC, so we'll let it default. Then if you choose the S3, you have to provide the path for your S3 bucket. If you can select a specific file, it will be better. Otherwise you can also select a folder as well. If you want to provide for DynamoDB, you have to select the folder for DynamoDB as well for the table. Then you can have the path. This S3 path is stored. You can find this is a CSV file. If you want to scroll through multiple files, you can repeat this step, and it could read various kind of files, not just CSV, text files or other files as well. So it will fetch the schema. If it is in either in tabular format, any CSV or Excel, it will find the schema, the column names, rows and data types it will detect. And you can also provide some exclude patterns if you want to keep them excluded. Once you are done with this thing, just hit the next option if you want to configure other things as well. So You can have, if you want to add another data source, you can press yes and provide more data sources. It could scroll through multiple data sources, or if you want to keep them separate, you can create multiple crawlers as well. Then you have to choose an IAM role, identity and access management, in order to access your S3 bucket on storage. So Amazon Cloud implements various kinds of security parameters. So even if you are using a single AWS account and you have got multiple services, if you want to access one service from a different service, like here we are going to access S3 using Glue, so it requires some kind of authentication or permission to access it. You can do so for different accounts otherwise, and you have to define a IAM role, identity and access management. So you can have this thing. Once you have defined, then you can define the frequency uh, for this crawler to be scheduled. It could run on weekdays, it could have the weekends. You can define a range for date. You can define the start time or end time, and so on. So if you want your crawler to span only one time, you can have custom range, or if you want to be let it be active for a long time, you can also provide a range. You can also select a day of the month, various kinds of parameters. You can select a time and filter. And once you are done scheduling this crawler, hit the next options, and you're ready to create a crawler on AWS. So try to create your own crawler on AWS connected with DynamoDB or S3 storage. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hey, welcome back friend. Now moving forward with our crawler, we have customized our crawler. We have created a crawler, set its frequency to run on demand. We have chosen the IAM role, added connection, the data source, and much more. So once you have provided the data source, the authentication permission, next step is to add a database. You can create a final database where all the information that the crawler has gone through could be stored. So you could just provide the name. We are using the same notation as we used for S3 bucket name for Athena, and here just provide the database name. You can set various parameters for this new database, like you can set a grouping behavior for S3 data. You could configure various options if you want to have some advanced control. You can also set the resource link name. You could have the shared database suggestions, the shared database, and other informations. If you're just beginning, just provide a database name and that's it. You don't need to provide these optional parameters, and just hit next to create your crawler's output database. So everything that a crawler span through would be stored in here following the same schema. You could create a single schema or have multiple schema. You could configure various options like other things. If you want to have this advanced options in configured here, like crawler schema that it detects, you could reflect it in here. Otherwise, just keep things in the default, and once you are done, you can go through all the configurations that you done, and if you want to edit, just go refer back to that step that you want to change. So like if you want to change the frequency from run on demand to hourly or daily basis, you can change it, and if you're sure, just create it. So here we got our first crawler in here and is currently ready. The status is showing ready. We can go to the action to perform various things. You can edit the crawler, you can delete the crawler, you could have various things in here, and just click the name of the crawler to find various options in here. After you have created a crawler, you have scheduled, and it will automatically creating this data source. If you want to start it just after creating, you can schedule a date time just next to whenever you want. You can refer into this thing, and if you want to stop the crawler, you can stop. If you want to run it, you can change it to run. So this is how you create a crawler in AWS Glue connected to S3. You can use JDBC, MongoDB, DynamoDB, and other data sources as well. It will allow you to create a table following the same schema. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hey, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about customizing a schema for a newly created database on AWS Glue. You could also find details about the table and database here, and you will also learn about log analysis using AWS CloudWatch. So let's start with this. So we have created a crawler that has spanned through the S3 storage, and it has created a table and database. So we can find details about this table and view properties. We can also find the schema for this table, the name of the columns, data type, and we are able to customize it. Just go to edit table and you would find various properties that can be edited. So you can set a key value pairs, you can change the properties type, you can rename them, you can customize them. You can view the properties that will be appeared in the JSON format. So if you want to customize anything, you could. You could also add various columns, rows in this table as well. It feels just like a database, and if you want to edit the schema, you can edit. So here you would be able to change the data type for a particular column. Say if you want to change the schema for order quantity, we can change it from string to binary to date to integer, float, or other formats as well. We can have the time stamp. You could use this change schema option in order to precisely customize your data set. Say if it automatically detects something as a string, but it used to be a timestamp or it could be a number, you can change it afterwards if you want to treat it as a different number. Okay, so here it is. You can customize almost every data type in here, but sometimes it may show some error. We have successfully changed the data type for order date from string to date, and it could be considered in there. And once you're done, just hit save and you can update it. So this is how you change the schema type of the newly created database. You could create multiple crawlers that can create various databases and tables, and you can go through them one by one and change the schema. So changing the schema would allow you to change the database type, so you don't need to go into the each individual fields and cell values. And if you want to fetch the log details of any operation that is performed on this table and database, you can go through the CloudWatch where you can monitor the logs. CloudWatch is very important AWS service that allows you to audit and create alarms, find log insights, various metrics and events as well. So just go to the log groups, and here we can find the AWS Glue crawler application. So we have created a crawler in AWS Glue, and it will find the insights. So any operation that is performed in here, it will be reflected. If you create a new column, if you change the schema, everything is shown here. So once you go through the log events, everything is saved with a timestamp and the entry for operation that is performed. This is very useful for if you are working on with a team on some project with a corporation or organization. If there is some error or some trouble, you can refer back to the CloudWatch, find the log entry, who was the admin at that point of time, where some error occurred, where there's some issues. You can resolve the issues by what operations performed. So it would be used for troubleshooting if there is an error. It could be used for auditing purpose, what operations are performed. It keeps everyone accountable on AWS. So this is very important service. You can go through the actions and find various informations in here. You can export a report on S3 bucket and it will create this thing. You could also have some filters. You can also delete the log, but log is very important and it is a text information, so it's better not to delete it. Here we got only one log stream because we have this one crawler. If you have multiple crawlers, we'll find various log streams. So AWS CloudWatch is useful with other services. It's not just useful in the Glue or Athena. It could be used for DynamoDB, Lambda, EC2, any service on the cloud to keep track of what operations are being performed. You can go to Amazon Glue to find some more details in there. You can go back to crawler, create more crawlers, edit the tables, the schema, and more things. And if you want to run a crawler, you can select the crawler and make it running. So in that case, it will be run on demand. And if you want to provision, you can also change the frequency type. And once you run, you can refer back to the CloudWatch and you can check that CloudWatch is keeping track of all the logs that you generate, all the operations that you perform. It is reflected back in the entry. You can troubleshoot this thing as well. First, when you create a crawler, just refer back to the CloudWatch whether it is monitoring or not. If it is monitoring, then you can go ahead with all the production and the real-time scenarios. So try to create your own Glue crawler and find login sites on the CloudWatch. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. You are going to learn more in the coming lessons. Hi, welcome back friends. Here in this lesson, you're going to learn about Amazon Athena that allows you to perform data analysis on a dataset. So we have used a crawler to create a dataset using Amazon Glue. And now let us go into the Athena to find this dataset that is newly created database, and we can perform various operations such as running various SQL queries. So this is the dashboard for Amazon Athena. We have to select the data source and the database. It has automatically detected the Athena 101 database that has been created using Amazon Glue. We can always change the database where we want to perform the SQL queries. So just go to the tables, select the dataset, and on the right hand side you got various options to run SQL queries. So these are the predefined queries. You can customize it whenever you want. So we go to the run query and preview table. So here we write this SQL code, select asterisk from Athena 101 dot dataset limit by 10. So it will fetch all the records from Athena 101 database and it will show you only the top 10 results. You can go to the manage settings to change the location for the query result. We can export this query result and store it on the Amazon S3 bucket for object storage. If you want to customize it, just go to the AWS console and go through the S3 bucket, and here you can find it. You can expand it here. So we got Athena data 101 bucket already created. If you want to store the output of your queries here, you can store or you can create a new bucket. We just need to provide the ARN for this bucket, or you can provide the link for this bucket. Here we have created this dataset. We have uploaded the CSV file. Based on this, the Glue has created a database with a schema in there. So here we go through this thing. You can perform various kinds of SQL query and operations on Athena. You can run the select, you can drop table, you can add new columns, fields to the dataset, you can customize the dataset, you can perform various logical operations like filtering tables and other things here. So first we need to add this location for the query result, and if you want to allow it there. So if it is to creates a result in S3 bucket, you can always link it with other services. Based on that, it will be computed. So here, once we run this SQL query, it produces this output. The top 10 fields uh, from the table has been selected. So you can change the value of limit. You can, if you don't want to have the limit, you want to display all the columns, you can display everything. But this would be very tedious if you have millions of fields and record. You don't want to, you want your system to be hanged. So thus you can use the limit command. You can customize this SQL query. You can run this query. You can save this query. You could write more SQL queries on this data set. And if you have multiple data set, data tables, you could join them. You can create a join, left outer, inner joins, and other joins as well using SQL queries. So try to run your SQL query on the Athena data set created using Glue, or you can use other data sources on Athena. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friends. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about create and execute custom query on Amazon Athena, and you will also learn to save multiple queries on Athena that can be used for operations later on the same database, or you can execute it on other database and tables. So let's start with this. We already know how to write a SQL query on Athena console. So now just need to customize it. Instead of limit, just put a where clause. So we will check where a parameter or profit is greater than 20. So we can run our query based on certain conditions. We can define various conditions. So it checks the condition and produces the output. In the same way, you can have the advanced SQL queries. You can try creating with the order by. You can have having clause. You can use the ascending, descending. You can use the procedures. You can create joins from the table. You could have multiple tables. You could use the where class. You can write an advanced SQL query. You can perform the DDL operations and other operations on SQL. So you can find the result in tabular format, and if you want to download the result, instead of storing to S3 bucket, you can go there. You can download the result, and it could be created in CSV format that can be used for further analysis. So once you get the output in tabular format, you can download them. You can use it with another database. You can upload to S3, use the crawler again, and you can use for data visualization in Quicksight and much more. So there could be multiple steps. Once you have various data sources, you can run a crawler to have the analysis. It could produce a database. You can perform various queries on using Athena. Based on these queries, the output produced can be used for data visualization using Quicksight. So this is a complete flow for data science, from data preparation, modeling, cleaning to data visualization and analysis. You could also find this exported output as a JSON format. You could have advanced SQL queries. You can create each column and each row one by one. You could edit the database. You can insert new rows, anything else. And once you write an SQL query, you can have multiple queries as well. You can run various queries, produce different outputs simultaneously. And just next to the run button, you find this save as option. When you go here, you can save the query. When you save a query, you can use it on other tables as well without any requirement for remembering it or typing it again. Just provide the name of the query. Here we provide table data where profit is above 1000 and so on. You can define various parameters. You could have the query description and the query is saved. So how you can check back your queries, you can just go to the save queries options or the recent queries to find the queries that has been executed. So you go to the saved queries where you have all the queries, SQL queries that has been saved, and you can go to the recent queries that has been executed. So you can find a log on Athena itself for all the queries that has been executed, and it can be used for auditing purposes and other things. You can refer back what operations have been performed, and if you want you can revert back. So this is how you save and create SQL queries using Athena. Try to create your own query, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hey friend, welcome to this lesson where you're going to learn about getting started with AWS Quicksight. So let's start with this. On the AWS panel, just move to the services panel, or you can just search Quicksight in this option. So there are multitude of services on AWS, and we just need to navigate to Quicksight. So Quicksight will allow you to create different kinds of visualization charts and do a lot of data preparation and complete data science work on the cloud. So let's sign in for Quicksight. You have to sign in for Quicksight with a separate account. So you have created an AWS account. It would not automatically log in into the Quicksight. So you may choose the option for the beginners and the learners. It is better to go for the standard edition. It would be free. So you can choose this thing. For getting started, you need some kind of authentication method. You would require IAM, identity and access management, federated identity. So just keep the default options intact, and you just need to provide Quicksight account name. So just provide a account name here. You can provide any information, and you have to provide the email ID for notification and other things. You can allow access to different kinds of services on cloud. It could be Amazon Redshift. You can choose RDS, S3, IAM we have already selected. So for those who don't know what is IAM, so IAM is an authentication service that is provided on AWS. So whenever you create some service or service instance on the cloud, you need an IAM role or policy attached to that thing. So you could have multiple members of the team working on your project side by side. So it could be a corporate project where you could require this thing for business analyst and data science projects and other so on. So you can have a team here. You can also select S3 bucket if you want to store some data, or you can fetch it, but you can add it on later on. It's not required at the moment. So just keep the default things here, and once you're done, just hit the finish button to get started with this thing. If there is some error, just go back and just revert it to default settings. If you find, you can change the region. I'm using North Virginia, US East. You can choose any option. So you have to make sure that your account name for the Quicksight must match with the format. There's no underscore supported, or special characters are very limited use. So only hyphen is allowed here. So you can use this thing. So once it is created, you can log into Quicksight through AWS. Earlier, Quicksight was a different corporation, different product that was acquired by Amazon or AWS, and that's why we find this thing. It is very advanced software where you can create a lot of things, data visualization charts to be very complex for finding insights, critical insights that you're learning in the coming lessons. So don't worry for this. So you have to just go to the Quicksight. You can consider this lesson as an installation part, but actually it is not an installation. You just need to configure a few basic things before navigating through this thing. So here you can go to the Quicksight account and you can simply log in. It will take only this much time for if you are doing it for the first time. So once you are done, it will automatically just move it to there. You can just explore some few of the basic informations that is there, otherwise just ignore it. You will also learn this thing. So here, this is the primary dashboard for Quicksight. Here you got multiple options. On the left hand side, you got different kinds of categories. You got the analysis that has been created. These are the 4 analyses that has been created by default for you to understand how things work. Once you select any one of them, it will create a visualization dashboard where you have all the options. Here it has created 6, 7, 8 different kind of charts: the pie chart, stack bar charts, and different line charts and other kind of charts. And you will learn to navigate this thing. So there are a lot of options here. You can configure or customize a lot of things here for finding critical insights from the data set. So you will learning how to upload a data set, how to prepare a data set for data preparation and sorting this thing, data modeling, that is an important part of data science. You will also learn to create a lot of visualization charts and drive some insights from these things. Amazing visualization chart. And you can also download this thing on PDF and share with your peers and teammates. You can allow other various kind of data sources like S3, or you can upload some file in format of CSV or Excel. You can link with a cloud database like Redshift or traditional database like SQL and different things here. So this will be a complete data science project. You can create a lot of things: business intelligence, data science, data visualization, a lot of things with Quicksight. So keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson, you're going to learn about importing a dataset or uploading a dataset on AWS Quicksight, and you will learn to create your first BI report and visualization charts using Quicksight. So let's start with this. So this is our default dashboard. When you log into Quicksight, you got few default visualization dashboards already created for you to analyze, and now it's time to upload something here. So just choose a new analysis and you have to create a new data set. So let's create a data set. Here you can see there are various options that you can use to import data set on Quicksight. You can use the S3 bucket, you can have the Oracle SQL Server, Aurora DB, MariaDB. You can also fetch dataset from GitHub, Twitter, or different platforms. Okay, so there's a wide range of options. You can use it using AWS services, or you can use the custom services. So for now, we are just uploading a file that is generally a CSV, or you can upload an Excel file. So just upload and select the worksheet name, and you can hit select to create a visualization chart. So this is how we get some data here. You get two different options. One, you can edit or preview data, and then you can visualize. So let us first visualize it. So when you create the visualize option, you will get this visualization dashboard created for you, and here we can create multiple charts. We can add it. You can duplicate different kind of charts. You can create a lot of charts here, such as pie chart, ring chart, tree map, line, stack, map chart, or a different kind of charts, the God charts that can be used for a lot of purposes. So for creating a chart, we need to drop different kind of fields into the group or the value option. So let us drop product into the group and price into the value. So what is value type? Value that is represented using green color will show you the measure or numerical values, and the group is generally the alphabetic values, that is generally noun, names of the place, categories, and such things. Okay, so if you have some numerical value, it could show you the sum of values. Various kinds of aggregation could be there: sum, average, count distinct, mean, median, mode, such things you can show. By default it is set to sum. So once you put any field into the value option, it will take the sum of the column and will show you on the screen with help of chart. So this is how it creates. As this service is on cloud, and it may take a few moment for creating a few charts. So in the meanwhile, we can create some more charts here. So let us create a bar chart here. We will drop the same options here. So this is pie chart has been created. Here we have 4 different categories of the product: milk, bread, grapes and oranges, and that has been shown into the pie chart, and we have the bar chart also ready. And this is how you create different kinds of visualization charts in Quicksight. So try to create this thing on your own, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you are going to learn about creating a tree map chart in Quicksight, and you will also learn to customize or edit some existing charts. So let's start with this. So we have created two different charts. One is a pie chart and another is a bar chart. You can create a duplicate of any of these charts and remove the values, or you can create a new chart from fresh. So here just try to create some new chart. You choose from various types of options that are there. For tree map, just click on the tree map option, and here just add some values. So here we add date into the group by category. It is a date field, so it won't be a number. And then we add a margin into size and price into the color. So we have three different parameters into the tree map. So the size of the tree map entities would be defined by a margin, and color would be derived from price. So brighter the color and softer the color, they will be monotonous. You will see it will load in a few moments. In the meanwhile, you can customize other charts as well. So if you have multiple charts on a dashboard, you may try to customize things accordingly. So here on the pie chart, we have some values. We can see the milk product, milk and different products here, oranges, grapes. So let us align them. So oranges in the orange color, it is orange is currently shown in the green color. Okay, so we want to convert this orange pie into the orange color. We can change the values by just right clicking the chart, and you can select the color of individual parameter, individual category. So let's change the color of milk, and we can change to different data colors. There are a lot of options you can choose from. So this is not a vital step for data visualization. You have already created a visualization, but visually, if you're presenting anything visually, it has to do with colors. So choosing a right color, appropriate color regarding your business intelligence and what insights you are driving is important. Okay, so if you are showing some results from the sales result, the profit could be shown in green color, loss could be shown in the red color. This is a well-known figure everybody uses. So you can turn it into that colors if you have KPIs and other things as well. And these are all things. So you can customize, and once you're done, you may get some different charts loaded. On the right hand side, we also have some categories. Say for example, here we have 4 different categories for the horizontal bar charts. You can choose colors in a different way. Say if you have 4 categories, you can choose 4 different colors for each of them, or you can use a single color as it is shown here. Or you may, if you want to highlight a particular category, you can paint it in a different color. Say here we have 4 different category. If you want to change the color of milk, you can change it. Okay, so now we have this Treemap chart displayed. It has been processed, and here it is. You can export this thing in PDF and download it, that we can view later on. You can always go back to the dashboard panel in the Quicksight when you log into Quicksight, and here we have different projects. So just go to the grocery repository one that we have created here, report here, and here we got 3 different columns. So as said, for the tree map chart, we can find these things. Okay, so here we can have downloaded the PDF. So first you have to export your report into PDF, and then you can download it, and you can view it using any visual editor and so on. So you can use it on a different platform as well. You can share it offline. If you want to drive some critical insights, you can share it with your teammates, and anything else like projections, planning for the future, driving some insights. This thing can be combined and published on various formats, on magazines, booklets, research papers, anywhere if you want to use it. Okay, so visualization is not just a part for uh, a business or a company. It can be used by entrepreneurs, freelancers, anyone for personal finance, variety of things. Okay, so here we have created these things. So try to create these charts and customize them. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about data preparation, where you would be able to customize your data set, not your charts, data set. So you would be able to edit your data set, change values, create calculated fields, and a lot of things that is there. So for data science, data modeling and data preparation is a crucial step. So Quicksight also empower you to prepare your data. So for that purpose, you do just need to load your data set either via CSV by uploading a file, or you can use any of the available connectors, S3, Athena, RDS, Redshift, anything. And here you got two options. The first option was to visualize after you hit the select option. The second option on the left hand side is edit and preview data. So earlier we selected the select option and visualize. Now we just need to go with the edit option. So once you hit the edit option, it will create a different kind of dashboard. It is not a dashboard for creating charts. It will show you the entire data set here in different columns and rows, as you can find in the Excel file format. And on the left hand side you got multiple options. On the top side you have option for calculated field. Click here to create a calculated field. So what is a calculated field? So you will learn it in detail in the coming lessons, but for now just get it. A calculated field is a new column that you create in a table. It is based on a formula. Okay, say you can create a number of rows, serial number, you can add some value, subtract some value, perform various options here. Next there is a filter. So filter will allow you to customize the data set and view it here. So if you have say 1,000 of rows and you just want to show 5 rows, so you can show this thing. Okay, you can find a specific value here. You can drill into the data set. So you can decide here what kind of data will go to the visualization phase and what will be cleaned out. So this is also called as a data cleaning step. Data preparation is also called as data cleaning. So here we can customize it based on the serial number. Don't worry, you will also learn about filters, creating filters in the coming lessons. So this is just a quick recap here. So here you can select various options. There are various options. Say you can say the greater or equal value you can define based on a number. Say here we have serial number 1 to various number of rows, say 100 of rows. And if you want to show say row number 5 to 10 or 4 to 8, it could be displayed here. So you have to define the minimum value and the maximum value of the serial number. In the same way, if you say have a data for different persons record, you can decide on the age criteria 18 to 35, 36 to 48, and so on, different age category. You can classify people in age category. You can also create filters like male and female, geography for the country, city, anything based on the product, anything. Say you can filter out data. So this is how you can do this thing. And more, you can customize more information. Here we are using a single sheet. You can use multiple spreadsheet and create a connection in here. As you can see in the data panel, we have got only sheet 1. You could have multiple sheets and you can combine them together to create a joins as you use in the SQL table. People who have a background in database, they will understand it. You can create joins and such things. So it could be useful for advanced scenarios. And for right now, we can also change the data type of the field. So here we have multiple columns. Say price, we can change it from decimal to integer, integer to decimal, and so on. Sometimes say things like if you have the country information or city information, these are the location, geographical locations, and they have been maybe due to some error, they could be defined as a string. So you can change the value. If you customize it to country specific, it will know what that it is a country, And when you want to create a geographical chart, it would be very easy for you to create this thing. It will automatically detect. Okay, so after you are done with this, you can hit the visualization option on the right hand side. You can save and create a visualization chart. As you already know how to create a visualization chart, it will have a different dashboard. So in Quicksight, you have two different kind of dashboards, one for data preparation, modeling, data cleaning, and one for creating visualization chart. So sometimes if you have a very small chunk of data, for practice purpose, you can directly go to the visualization step, or in general, professionals use to first prepare and then visualize. So on the cloud, if you're working on some decent project, you may be having a good amount of people on your team. So some people would be focused on creating a data preparation level, modeling, and some would be deployed on creating visualization chart, driving insights. So you could have some role in between, or you could be having managing all these things. Okay, and you could have multiple reports, multiple visualizations, so multiple people could be deployed on a different level. So that is how, yeah, your work would be done on the cloud. The data science projects is done here. So try to create these things on your own. Explore data preparation, create visualization charts in Quicksight. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Welcome back, friend. Here in this lesson, you're going to learn about creating a calculated field in Quicksight. So let's start with this. In the earlier lesson, you learned how to do data preparation, how data preparation works, and various options there. In this lesson, we will be focused on creating a calculated field. So just have some data set or create a new analysis. And here we will learn different kind of functions that you can use to create a different column. So calculated field is simply a custom column or a new column that you want to create that is not there in your data set or table, and it could be based on a certain formula, that is mathematical formula, or it could be based derived from different columns. So here we have multiple columns here, and we can take a few of them. So here we have a profit column, a product category, product ID, product name, different options in here. And here just go to add calculated field, and this will direct you to this option. You can directly write the code for creating a calculated field. It will be a simple one-line code, or you can use different functions that are available here. So here we will be using ceiling function. So CEIL would be written to calculate the ceiling of a function. So here we use the profit, and we will create a ceiling of profit. So just for example, there is a ceiling and floor, two mathematical functions. See here, if you have a decimal value or value, say, it will round off it. So ceiling will round off to the upper threshold, while floor will round off to lower threshold. Say here, if you have 72 as value, upper threshold could be 75 and lower threshold could be 70. If you write ceiling, it will convert to upper threshold. Okay, so here we can have, you can add something like here ceiling plus 1, you can add 1, subtract, you can use various operations as you like. You can divide one column with a different column, so it will perform actions on the row basis. So it will go on an individual row, compare the values in two different columns, and will perform actions. So here just create some real values. So in our data set, we have the values for profit, and if you want to calculate taxes from the profit values, you can just write a code for that. So here just calculate the ceiling function, and here just assume we have a tax rate of 10%, so it will calculate the taxation from the profit. So it will show you. Okay, so it will create a new column. You can provide the name of this column, tax from profit, and just write the code ceiling profit divide by 10. So here this is, sometimes there could be some error for you, so you have to just check the format of this thing. You have to put the column name into the parentheses, the function using braces, and so on. There's no need for any semicolon in here. This is not a programming language. This is very simple. So don't worry if you don't have a background in computer programming. It would be easy for you. If you're a business person or a business analyst purpose, and you don't know the programming, it will be fine. You just need to understand what these functions would do. Okay, so here just try to do one more thing. We learned how to do operations on a measure or a numerical value, and let's learn how to do it on a dimension. So here we are using the concat function. So concat will concatenate or combine multiple strings together. So what are the strings? Here we have two different columns: product ID, product category, and product name. We have three different columns in here. Product ID is numerical, alphabetic, product category is alphabetic string, and product name is a string. So we can combine these three things together into a single column. So this is generally a useless thing, but I will show you how to do this thing. Okay, so just write concat function within the parentheses, just provide the name of individual columns or the field, you can say, and hit the save button. So this is how you have to provide this thing. If you want to combine multiple columns, you can combine them together. Okay, so just explore various functions that are there, and these functions will be compatible enough to uh, allow you to do a lot of data preparation, data cleaning, and data modeling on the data set. Okay, so it will be compatible with different things. So here just write this thing. We have created this thing. Once you're done, hit the save option. It will be reflected just back to your Quicksight dashboard. Here on the right hand side, we got this product info, and it shows the value of these things combined. So currently the space is less, so it won't be displayed here. But if you create a chart, or you can expand it to find the information in there, you could create more things. Like if you want to extract name from the email address, you could do this thing, and you want to combine these things. So try to perform various operations here, create calculated fields in Quicksight, keep learning and keep moving ahead. Now moving forward, by creating some more calculated fields, you can hit the three dots to delete a field. You can edit them, customize the code here and the functions that we can use, or you can create a new column from scratch. So three things covered. You can create a new column, you can edit a different existing column, you can delete a column. Okay, so this will empower you things in the data cleaning and data preparation phase. So just hit to add calculated field option. Here we are going to create two different columns, profit per unit and price per unit. So just name this new column as profit per unit, and we're using the ceiling function. You can use a different function if you want to calculate the average or a different value. You can use, you can count, you can do a different operations based on your data set and requirement. So here just write a simple code. Ceil would be used for ceiling function. In the bracket, put different values. Here we put profit, that is divided by order quantity. For divide, you use the slash, so it will be represented. And here we got this column. You can calculate on the right hand side profit per unit. So we got profit and we got unit. These two columns are there. The unit sold, order quantity. Simply we divide the order quantity by the profit, so it will fetch the profit per unit. So you can calculate these things that can be used for your visualization phase. Don't make things very easy. So for a person who is creating visualization chart, need not to do these things. And if you are responsible solely for all the things, this is a step where you have to prepare your data. So you can, it would be not very difficult. You can prepare your data as well as visualize. You should learn both of these things. It may depend on your job role, so you can focus on a particular thing professionally, while you should have a knowledge of both these things. So here we can create a similar function for calculating the price per unit. So here we will divide the total price by order quantity. You can calculate age of a person. You can use a different formula for creating a different kind of calculated field. You get it, how to create a calculated field in Quicksight using few simple steps. And Based on different columns, you can create visualization charts. You can also add some filters that you will learn later on that can be added to improvise the data that you want to show in the chart. Sometimes you don't want some garbage values and some excess amount of data you want to focus. Filters would be for that use. So stay motivated, keep learning, and keep moving ahead. Hi, welcome back friend. Here this lesson you're going to learn about creating filters and excluded lists in AWS Quicksight. So let's start with this. So here we have our data set. As you can see on the right hand side, we have the complete columns and rows information, and on the left hand side we have various options to customize our data set, to prepare our data set, to perform various options, moderations. So here we just need to select a field or column to convert it into the excluded field. So just select anything. Here we will select a invoice number, and we want some more options. So just click triple dots to expand, and here you have to select the exclude field option. So once you hit this exclude field option, it will be converted into the excluded field. So this column won't be displayed into the data set, and if you save and go to the visualization step, this column won't be available. So it will aggregate your column, it would optimize the storage space, and sometimes in your data set, if it is very large, you want to remove certain things, you can do so. Next is filters. Filters allow you to customize various things. So here we have selected, you can convert anything to filter in the same way you do excluded field. So here we have selected the country filter, and here we have two options. Either we can include a certain thing in the list, or we can exclude. So first just select with the include, or you can select exclude. So here we want to include Canada into the country field. So once you select this thing, it will only display the records that have Canada in the country field. Okay, not other countries would be included. And if you choose to exclude it, it will show all other data that don't have Canada in the country field. So you can apply this condition. Definitely you can add multiple excluded fields and multiple filters in your Quicksight data preparation step. You can create a lot of them to fine grade your things. You can refine your data set and make it suitable so that it can be used to create proper and useful business insights, visualization charts. Next, we can have date information as well. So here we have selected order date that consists of information for the date. And here we got three different options. We can select the between, after, and before. So when you select the between, you have to select a range of values starting and end date. It will only show the records that are just between the starting and end date. You may choose to select either select or deselect the starting and end date. If you check down that thing, so it would include the starting date, or otherwise it could be excluding it. You may define this date field based on the calendar. It would be easy for you, and just hit apply if you want to select. Say if we have records and we want to show the records from 1st September 2016 based on the time, we can also fine grade it with the time granularity. We can select it to second, minute, hour, and time basis, different basis. If you have a millisecond time information, you can also add it, but it's not generally used, so for default it is there. Then you may choose to select a date afterwards. So in that case, you have to just select a date after which the record would be displayed. A starting date you have to define. Otherwise, if you select the before, you have to decide the end date. And in the same way, you can have it inclusive or exclusive set. So you may select a checkbox or deselect a checkbox for including a start or end date based on your requirement. So this is how we can customize our data set using filters and excluded lists. We can have multiple kind of filters in the same way. You could add them, you could remove them, and once you are done, just hit the save and visualize option on the top right side, and it will go to the visualization panel. Don't forget to hit the apply option so that it will be reflected back to your dataset and it could be used here. You could add more filters. We have multiple column field here. If you have a large amount of data set that has multiple columns, you can use. You can also create a different calculated fields, and you can also use those calculated fields as a filter, as anything else. Okay, say for example, if you have age information, the date of birth of various peoples that are there in the record, you may find the age. You can create a calculated field that will calculate the age based on the date of birth and the current date. It will subtract, find the difference. It will create a new column that will have records for that thing, and you can use it as a filter. So this kind of things can be done here. Here we select a different filter product name, and you can pass on multiple values in the list. Say if you want to show values like including sanitizer and earphones into the product name, you may want to select. Earlier we used Canada as an example. We selected only one country name for including and excluding, and here we can select multiple options as well. So it is a list. You have to just hit enter each time. You have to write each different category name one by one in different lines. So this is how it works, and just do it. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Stay motivated. Hi, welcome back friends. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about creating map charts in AWS Quicksight. So let's start with this. So we have opened a data set and we have created multiple filters and excluded list. So before heading towards visualization panel, let us customize some filters. You may add or delete a filter, or you can edit them based on the requirement. For now, let me just disable the product name filter and order date. If you want to keep, or you can change the date range based on the requirement. So here you can customize your filters before heading towards a visualization panel. It will be best practice to just look at the filters and excluded list or calculated field that you have created before getting into the visualization option. So in that case, you will have a picture about your data. So you can clarify what you want to visualize. And once you're done, just hit save and visualize. And here we got this visualization dashboard where we can create multiple kind of charts. Here we are going to create a bar chart and a map chart. So there are various visual types as you can find here, and based on the different fields and the columns from the data set, we can create different charts. So here we take two values, country and profit. Country is a dimension that has alphabetic information, name of the country, and profit is a measure that have a numerical value that can be aggregated based on the sum, average, and such on. If you want to create a map chart, just click on the one of these map field. You can select this thing. You can click on the globe icon or the map icon. So I'm taking the area map, and here it shows North America, and here we have a country's information based on the Canada and USA. So these two countries are highlighted. The rest other countries are not highlighted because they are not in our data set right now. So that's it. You can customize it. You can apply conditional formatting by going to the more details option, three dots. You can format these things. So just go to conditional formatting option. Here we can format something based on the parameter. Here we take the profit measure and we change the background color, and we can customize the property. By default, it is showing the information in dark and light blue color. You can change the value of colors. So here just select a condition like greater than and provide some value. Change the color to red, and here we provided 0 value. Try to apply hit, and here it is. So any country that has a value of profit more than 0 would be converted to red. So in this case, Canada and USA both have some information, and that's both are converted to red. But what happens if we want to divide them based on a certain range? You can do so. Okay, so once we put some range here like 30,000, then it changed. So as you can see here, uh, we got more profit from USA compared to Canada. The profit is generated for this data set. And here, if you have multiple countries, you can choose to go with them. Otherwise, if you want to choose a gradient, you can use some kind of gradient if you like. Otherwise, if you have multiple values, you can just choose a range. The condition could be greater than, equals to, less than, equals to, equals, or between certain range. You can provide this thing. And once you provide this range, your things would be colored. If you want to remove this condition, you can simply clear it or close. You can add multiple conditions like else would be conditioned. So it works like an if else loop. People who have a background in computer programming would understand it very clearly. Here we have if else condition. If the first condition is found to be true, it will apply the color, that is fields. Otherwise, if first condition is not true, then it will check the second condition, and if second condition is satisfied, it will change the color. Otherwise, will go on further. So here it is. So we got one condition that we have added to this map chart. You can create multiple kinds of map charts, and once we hover around our map country, it will show some information in the tooltip. You could add some more information in the tooltip as well. You can duplicate, you can hit actions, you can find various options in here. And if you want to customize the theme, the layout of your dashboard, on the right hand side you got multiple options like visualize, filter, parameters, theme, actions. Just go to the themes, and here just select a midnight theme. It will convert to the dark theme. You can choose a brighter color. There are 4 or 5 by default themes that you can go with. So if you feel like power saving, or you want to have some dark kind of theme, you can use it. So here we have this thing, dark theme, and we can change the color of individual bars based on the selection, and here it is. So it's better to change the color of bar that matches with the map. So here Canada is changed to magenta or pink color, and US is shown in blue color. So you can clearly identify in both that there's a color harmony between multiple charts. So if you're trying to create a dashboard and report, try to implement this color harmony. Multiple charts having same values should be categorized in similar colors. So keep learning and keep moving ahead. Stay motivated. Hi, welcome back friends. Here in this lesson you're going to learn about creating pivot tables in Quicksight. So let's start with this. When you have a large set of data and you want to summarize your data in form of tabular format using columns and rows in a very concise manner, you can use pivot table. You can also customize it using conditional formatting and change the color of individual cells. For creating a pivot table, just go to the visual types, and here on the third row right hand side you got the pivot table. So just select it to create a pivot table chart, and here you will require to provide the name of the column, rows, and other parameters. So here we can have a different kind of charts. When you are creating a dashboard, you could add different charts such as pie, map, pivot table, and much more. You can create duplicate of an individual chart. In that case, the field information would be intact. So just click the feed wells, and here you get options, rows, columns, and values. So in the rows we have country. We can add state information as well. So it will first divide it into countries, then categorize based on the states, and then we have the third parameter, that is values. So here we got profit. We can change the aggregate function from sum to count to average to distinct, mean, median, percentile, standard deviation. You got various options. So based on your requirement, you can find the minimum of a value, maximum of a value, count. By default, people use sum in general case because we want to add the profit, we want to add the sales, we want to add the numbers. If you want to find the average, you can easily find. Then you can also add some more information, like we have added tax from profit. So it has created another column for that. So here we got 4 columns: country, states, profit, and tax from profit. States are categorized based on the country name, so they are arranged in the country way. So first 6 7 states are from the same country like Canada, and then followed by all the states from USA. We leave the column tab intact. If you want to drop some information here in your field here, you can add, but it will make things look very complex, and most of the cells would be empty. So it's better to reduce the amount of empty cells by just not using this option. We want to have the concise view of the data. So this pivot table will allow you to find the information like how much profit is generated from a state of Manitoba or British Columbia from Canada, or how much taxation you have to pay. So this thing can be fetched. This kind of information can be stored very easily using the pivot table. This will be visualized. So you don't need to dive into deeper. You can find the insights very well. You can go to the conditional formatting. This will allow you to easily grab the things that are informative or relevant. So here we want to customize some values, or we want to highlight the values that are greater than 100 or greater than 1000. So here we will be using 2 different color options. So just go to this option, condition values, just select the greater than, and we will choose 100 and change the color to something bright. Because we are using dark theme, we choose to go with the orange color. Just hit apply, and now you find this all the values that fall, all the values in taxation that falls above 100 value will be converted to orange color. The cell is displayed as orange color. You can add some more conditions like greater than 1000, and this time you can change some more color. You can add some more color. So like for information, if you want to show some KPIs can also be summarized using this pivot table. So if you have a large chunk of data and you just want to focus on most important, the highest sales or the most important factors from the data set, you can just focus there. Say the states that are driving maximum sales, your strategy should be built on those things. So you can also find alerts and this kind of information here. If you have multiple information, it's better to choose the between conditions where you define the starting value and end value. And let's change it to yellow color, and then we have the second condition, that is orange. So above 1000 it will be changed to dark orange color, and below 1000 but greater than 100 it is shown in yellow color. So this is where we highlighted the important states or important information from our data set. In the same way, you can highlight the profit, the country name, anything that you want to define on this thing. Keep learning and keep moving ahead. Try to do this thing on your own. Hi, welcome back friends. Here in this lesson, you're going to learn about creating a word cloud on AWS Quicksight. So let's start with this. So first create a new visual. For creating a word cloud, just go to add on the top left corner and add visual. So here we have added a visual. So what is word cloud? Word cloud is a simple graph that consists of different words or categories that has been arranged based on different size. So the bigger the size of a word compared to other words, it has more influence based on the parameters that you provide. So here we have 2 different categories, group by and size. So let's drop product name into the group, and in the size we take order quantity, that is a measure. So here we drop this thing. So here we got different kinds of products such as vegetables, fruits, dairy, sanitizer, and we can arrange them based on certain measure such as order quantity. So let's drop order quantity. If you want, you can add profit or a different measure. So based on different measure, you can identify the product name that has higher number of higher frequency. So for example, the fruits has been ordered largest time, so it has the highest order quantity when we compare among different product names. And after fruits, there's a vegetable, dairy, and sanitizer. But when we take about profit, we have the laptop as the highest profit generating thing. So based on different parameters, you can arrange them. You can go to the settings and customize it further. Say padding, you can add some padding, small or medium, and you can go to the other option. So here we have two different options, a small, none padding, and you can go to the allow vertical words. If you want your words to appear both vertically and horizontally, you can check this option. Otherwise, just leave it if you want just horizontal words. So sometimes if you have a larger number of words, it is better to arrange them in the both ways. So it will look like a shape. It will automatically take a shape. You can also enable a fluid layout or disable it. It's just recommended that you have to enable it, so it will create a good visual. Just go to the more options and you can customize it further, like changing the color. So just select each word one by one and change the color. Because we don't want to keep every word in the same color, it's better to use a variety of color. So in that case, your chart would be more colorful and more attractive if you want to add. So people generally add word cloud as a visualization based on different categories. If we have a lot of categories, rather than using numbers or different kind of line, pie, or other charts, sometimes it's better to use size as a parameter. So this is a new kind of chart on its own. So if you have a large number of categories, if you have 2 or 3 categories, it's better to use pie, bar, or other simple chart. So here we can change the aggregation from sum to average and other things as well. And next we can try a different category. So just change product name with state. So let us drop state into the group by, and we can also find dates as well. Okay, so when you represent date, it will look little absurd because date will have a variety of dates. It will have a large range of dates. It will be not easily distinguishable. So it's better to use any dimension that has some categorical information, alphabetic information. So here when we use the product category, it have only 4 or 5 categories, so it is not good to represent using the word cloud. So based on your insights that you want to show, you can decide which parameter you want to represent using word cloud or you're not. So here we have states. So when we drop state into the group category and take any other parameter, it will have a large number of states. So word clouds is most suitable to represent this kind of information. So we arrange them based on the profit generated from different states from US and Canada. So it looks very decent when we have both vertical and horizontal number of states. And let's change the color. So Texas and Ontario has the highest number of profit generation, and here just change the color. So let's change the color from white to a different set of colors, and you can use a combination of different colors and keep other informations the way you want. So data visualization is not just about creating charts, it's also how you represent them. So visualization is an art form. You can add different colors, you can add your style and the way you want to narrate. So just don't try to find simple insights, try to represent them beautifully. So try to create your own word cloud on Quicksight. Keep learning and keep moving ahead.